Hello everyone, Funky Cole Medina DIY back again. Today is actually Father's Day, and it wouldn't be Father's Day without something breaking and for me to fix. If you have an LG electric dryer that isn't drying, then let me show you a common problem that I have with this dryer. This is the model number of my dryer, which has treated me well over 12 years. It went out a couple of years ago, which I suspect is a thermal sensor going out again. Now the part is very cheap, but the process to replace it can seem overwhelming. Let me show you that it can be done, and it's really not that hard. Now before we start tearing the dryer apart, let's go over a few troubleshooting basics. If your dryer is not heating very well, or not at all, first check your lint trap to see if it's clear. If it is clear, check your outdoor vent to see if it's clogged. Also pull your dryer back and check to see if the vent hose in the back of the dryer is kinked. And lastly, make sure you got power to the dryer. If everything checks out, then it could be very well the thermal sensor and or the thermostat. We are actually going to replace both of them, but I'll show you how to check to see if those parts are actually not working. Now the back of my dryer has a lot of lint, and it could be a reason why the sensor went out due to overheating. I'll give it a good vacuum when we're all done. First, remove the screw in the back of the dryer so we can lift the top off. It pivots down on a couple of metal tabs. Next, insert a putty knife, or in my case I used a 5-in-1 painter's tool to push in a metal tab on the front corners. Push in and lift. Here's a closer look to show you what I'm pushing against. Now lift the top and have it supported by something. I used a ladder to prevent the top from falling back. If your dryer has a steam feature like this one does, remove these two Phillips screws. There's also one more screw in the back. Go ahead and remove that one as well. Remove the blue container that holds water and empty it out. When trying to lift the steam assembly, there are two wires keeping it from lifting up. Remove those two wires by simply pulling them straight out. Now lift the assembly and support it so it won't fall down. Next, remove two screws, one here and here. Both are Phillips head screws. Let's move to the front of the dryer with the door open and remove 4 Phillips screws on each corner. Once you do that, go ahead and close the door. Pull the front of the dryer back a tad and lift up. Place it to the side where it won't fall. Let's remove 4 Phillips screws on each of these corners. Below the drum, disconnect this connector by pressing down the white tab and pulling apart. The drum assembly cover is next to be removed. It is hooked on into slots on each corner. Lift up a bit on each corner until it dislodges itself from the slot. Now lift to give a little wiggle and it'll come right off. Well, looky there, a shiny quarter for my labor on Father's Day. I'm so lucky. Now this next part, I'm removing the rubber band that goes around the drum. I don't have a clear view to show you what I'm doing here, so here's a clip from another video showing exactly what I'm doing. And I'll give them credit and leave a link in the description on this video.
First, we will have to take the belt off of the motor. You will reach under, grab the idler pulley, pull it back, remove the belt from the actual motor pulley, gently let it down.
Once you have the rubber band unhooked, remove the drum using the band as a handle. On the bottom right side is where the thermal sensor is located. We are going to remove these 2 wires and these 2 screws. Let me show you real quick how I diagnose the thermal sensor in being the culprit. Get a multimeter and set it to ohms. It's the one that looks like an upside down horseshoe. I set mine at 20,000 ohms. I don't think it really matters. You're just trying to see if you get a number change. Now get your 2 leads from your multimeter and touch both connectors of the old sensor. If it's bad, you should see no change and it'll stay at 1. Now do the same for the new sensor and you see that it changed to all zeros. What you don't want is no change at all. The sensor has what they call continuity. Here's the thermostat and the 3 wires that we will remove. First, let's remove the 2 Phillips screws. I like to keep the wires intact and remove them one at a time so I can connect them to the same spot on the new one. I'm only changing it out since we have the dryer taken apart and I don't feel like going through this again. A little preventative maintenance. Let's screw it back in and we're done with the thermostat. Let's install the thermal sensor, red wire on top and white on the bottom. Time to install the drum, which won't be perfect until we install the drum cover. Now install the rubber band underneath the drum. Here's a clip from a video that shows exactly how to do it. I was not able to get a camera back there.
We will put our arms inside in order to reattach the belt to the idler. Lift up on the idler, wrap it around the wheel. You'll see there is a ribbed portion on the belt. That side is going to go down on the motor pulley. Let go of the idler.
Try to line up your rubber band by following the old markings on the drum. This is just a guide for now. Now push the drum towards the back. It'll fit inside of a groove. I'm spinning the drum to help align the rubber band. Now grab the drum cover assembly and the drum will fit on the outside rim of the cover. Fit the cover over the drum, and this does take a little patience and finesse. You may have to support the drum from the inside with your hand to help lift it into place. Try to snap the brackets into the slots. Now screw it back in before it pops out. Snap the white connector back in. Get your door assembly and line up the bottom with the tabs and let it slide in. Push forward and you'll hear a snap. Here's a closer look to show what tabs I'm talking about. Now screw in the 2 screws on the top corners. Slide your lint trap back in and screw in the 4 screws from each corner and shut the door. Lower your steam assembly down and reconnect the 2 wires by sliding them in. Install your water tray by placing it down and sliding it back. Install the 2 screws on the side and don't forget the one in the back. Lower the top down, give it a push until it snaps back in. Reconnect the metal cover on the rear of the dryer by lining up the tabs and screw it in. Let's turn the dryer back on and check to see if we have heat. There we go, we got up to 140 degrees. That's perfect for me. Now the next time if your LG dryer stops drying, don't panic. Look me up and I'll put your mind at ease that you can do it yourself. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing for more DIY videos for your home, auto, and of course homemade Texas cooking. Have a blessed day everyone, and see you on the next thing that decides to break down.